What is going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the importance of persistence and following up when you're trying to build your storefront window cleaning business route. Now, I have a window cleaning business in which I predominantly focus on acquiring commercial business accounts. This is your restaurants. These are your dentist offices. These are your dance studios, different medical buildings, things of that nature. So the reason I like commercial is because commercial is high frequency. It's reoccurring. So as long as you do a really good job, they're going to stick with you for the most part. You're gonna lose clients here and there occasionally, but for the most part, if you do a good job, you're personable, you build a good relationship with your client, they're gonna stick around with you. And a very, very important principle or idea you need to understand is patience and persistence and following up. So a lot of my clients that I currently have, good clients, I'm talking big franchise businesses, I only landed after a month, 2 months, 3 months after I first initiated, first contact, first time I spoke to a decision maker, somebody in charge. It takes time for a prospect to convert. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's immediate, and that's awesome. Ideally, that's what you want. But most of the time, it's going to take time. Maybe they have to go to a higher up decision maker, and that's going to take, just like I said, it takes time. But the important thing is you don't forget about your prospects. You go back 4 or 5 times and they still haven't made a decision. Most people would quit. I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to stop calling them. I'm going to stop walking into the business. I'm going to stop asking for the manager. No, don't do that. Be a persistent person where you go in every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and you're like, hey, it's me. I just wanted to follow up. I came by last month. I came by a few months back. I just wanted to see if you guys were still interested in us providing window cleaning services for your business. And you just become familiar, and you get to know the people there to the point where they trust you. To the point where they're impressed with your persistence and your tenacity of you're not going to take no for an answer until, you're not going to forget about them, essentially. And an important part of that is you need to track everything. You need to track all of the businesses that you contact and ensure you don't forget about them. Because if you don't track the businesses in which you pitch and you're selling to, then you're not going to remember. You're not going to remember the manager's name. You're not going to remember what you talked about. You're not going to remember when you said you'd follow up. You're going to forget all that because, you're trying to grow your business and you have a lot on your mind that if you don't put down on, it could either be paper or, I put it in an Excel sheet where I track all of my prospects. And I put the name of the business, I put the name of the person I spoke to, I put either a warm lead, which is, there's some interest, a cold lead, which means they're not really that interested, and I put the date when I'm going to follow up. I try to stick to that, and it has worked for me so far. I've landed clients that has taken months of following up. I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 follow-ups before they become a paying customer. So persistence, being just a persistent person and being organized is super important when you're trying to build your route, because it takes time, man. You know, I've had the business for about a year, and it takes time to build out a route. You know, I get why most people who are in the window cleaning business choose to go residential, because residential is much higher ticket, and it's not as difficult to acquire customers than with commercial. You know, for some people. I mean, I personally like commercial because it's less stressful. You know, the more residential jobs I do, the less I like to do residential jobs, because going into people's homes, it's like a higher level of stress, I find, for myself personally. You know, businesses is easy. You go in, you get the job done, you get out, you get paid, and it's very low stress for the most part. You know, you just do a great job and you get paid. And so yeah, if you're thinking about building a window cleaning storefront route, or you're currently doing it, you gotta have persistence, man. You can't be a quitter. You can't quit after they say no the first time, or they're not sure the first time, and you just forget about them. Now, if you want to build a route, you gotta be organized, you gotta be persistent, and you just can't quit. You just gotta be an animal and just like be so, almost be unreasonable in a way. You know, be a person where other people, they're gonna be like, damn, this guy doesn't quit. This guy is consistent. This guy's persistent, and people will be impressed by that. As long as you're respectful, polite, and you just don't stop, you will build out a storefront route, a good one too, you know, and it's possible, man. There's businesses everywhere, wherever you are. If you're living in a city, there's businesses everywhere. Businesses need window cleaning because the workers don't do it. They don't want to do it. So you come in, you tell them, hey, I have a business. We specialize in professional storefront window cleaning. We'd love to take care of you, so you don't have to worry about any of the window cleaning. You know, we put you on a plan, and we make it beautiful for you, so it's always clean. So yeah, that's the video today, guys. Persistence. Don't give up. Be organized if you want to build a storefront window cleaning route. If you like the video, give it a like. If you have any questions regarding to building out a storefront window cleaning business, ask some questions in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, and peace out. See you in the next one.